What's up, Greyhound? What's up, YouTube? Another bad Greyhound crash. I was going off about this video on some Facebook Greyhound groups, but come to find out, they said it wasn't the Greyhound driver's fault. It was a drunk driver, the oncoming traffic drunk driver. It was his fault. He was driving drunk. He came into the lane. Well, I'm glad it wasn't the bus driver's fault, and I hate it was the drunk driver's fault. I hate of anybody to get injured in this crash. Two victims in Greyhound bus crash ID'd by state police. I got this video through MSN, WREG TV Memphis. Two victims killed in a Greyhound bus crash near Jackson, Tennessee have been identified in a report by Tennessee Highway Patrol. THP identified one of the victims as Glenn Young Jr., 60, of Colorado. Young was a passenger on the bus. The other victim, identified as John Davis of Tennessee, who was driving the 2008 Chevy Silverado truck involved in the wreck. The 30-year-old driver of the bus was also listed as injured. The crash happened at 6:20 p.m. Monday, Memorial Day, on Highway 70 in Madison County. The bus and pickup collided, sending the bus in a ditch. The truck spun around and caught on fire, police said in a report. THP has said the bus was en route from Memphis to Nashville. More than 30 people were treated at hospitals for injuries. The list of injured victims includes several passengers from Tennessee, as well as Ireland, England, and other U.S. states. State police and Greyhound are investigating. What's up, YouTube? Greyhound had another accident. I thought it was Greyhound driver's fault, but I've heard that it's not his fault. It was the oncoming traffic's fault. He was a drunk driver. He come into oncoming traffic. I made a lot of comments because I thought it was the coach operator's fault. I'm gonna read to you guys some of the things that I was saying. I was on a Facebook group chatting somebody on a Greyhound Facebook group. I said Greyhound drivers should have more off-duty time than truck drivers, but they don't. Truck drivers get 10 hours reset time per DOT reg. Coach operators only 8, and Greyhound makes you work 7 days for one off, or you're penalized. Some people are fired for working 5. Where's the union? I was at one union meeting and they pulled in over $1 million. Greyhound hauls the most precious cargo. And rules should be changed to make sure drivers have adequate rest without a doubt. What was his response? What if the driver is not taking his or her rest time doing house repairs as an example? My response? All drivers have something to do at home. When hauling the most precious cargo, you need at least the same hours as a truck driver gets, which is 10. And don't fire drivers because they can only work 5 days a week. That's why you have to push drivers to come to work ASAP. Because you're firing everybody. I've seen quite a few ladies coming complaining that they're being rolled up or fired because they can only work 5 and give coach operators 12. And give coach operators 12 hours at the hotel. You get 12 hours at home. You should give them 12 hours at the hotel. drivers put in safety memos at the union, more rest time or strike time. They're getting over a million of y'all's money and firing y'all for nothing. This is what he said. Even with sufficient rest, driver's fatigue can occur due to various factors. Some common culprits include sleep disorders, irregular sleep patterns, stress, and the time of day, particularly during the early morning and afternoon. It's not a simple solution, many factors. That's true. That's why you should have uh, safeguards in the system for things like this. There are safeguards, but you should put safeguards into driver's rest. This accident wasn't the driver's fault. That's what I've heard so far. But there's many others that have been killing people. You put rest in the safeguard. We got sleep apnea. We got DOT health cards and physicians. More hours should be added to Greyhound drivers' rest, at least to as much as what drivers get for DOT, what truck drivers get. Bus operators don't even get as much as truck drivers. My response to what he said was, and the union knows all this you just mentioned, but they firing people because they say they're fatigued after 5 days. They won't give you more rest time. And he said, if that's the case, a physician's letter may be in order, or a change in profession is another choice to consider. He put dot, dot, dot. And I said, all drivers get a physician's letter every year or every 2 years. We're humans, not machines. And I guess he assumed I was talking about myself because he said, sometimes we need to make hard choices. Is this employment the right one for me? By reading your comments, a career change should be strongly considered. You should, or others with the same predicament and challenges. The driving career clearly states the harsh reality of a Greyhound driver. Always been, and I don't think the future will change. Many before you have tried to change the system, but all have failed. This ain't for me. I never had a problem and don't have a problem now. I never took off after 5 days. I always drove at least 7 days. I always drove more than 7 days. I drove 9, 10, 14 days before I took any time off. I always drove 2 weeks to get 2 days off. I was on the extra board. Sometimes I stayed away from home at least 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. I never had a problem at Greyhound. I wasn't talking about me, but I know it's hard working for Greyhound, and it's real hard for a lot of other people. I've seen people complain, "Oh, I can't work with five, this and that. I'm gonna get fired or rolled up." People. I've heard people getting fired. Some of the latest. I've seen some of the latest. Probably happened to some of the guys too. They get fired for only working 5 days, but y'all ain't got no drivers. Firing people for putting the crazy people off the bus. But y'all ain't got no drivers. You should cater to the people with the money in their pocket. The people sitting down, minding their damn business, enjoying the scenery, resting their damn nerves. If you cater to them, you have more people riding. But y'all could cater to the people. Most of them ain't got no money in the pocket. They just want to come drink and steal. They carry duffel bags 6 feet long, going around waiting until the rest break, and they come around and they stealing out of other people's bags on the bus, telling you to pull over because they can't use the bathroom in the back. They want to go in the store and steal and buy and stuff like that. You call in, you call the police and get them took off the bus, you get in trouble. Some people get in trouble for putting all people off the bus and others don't. It depends on who you are. And y'all can read into that if you want. It seemed like that to me. If you cater to the people who sitting down resting their nerves, which most of the time, them's the ones with money in their pockets, cater to somebody sleep or reading a book or looking around. If you sleep, you're tired. If you're tired, you probably got a job somewhere. Or if you're reading, hell, you got a job. You got a job somewhere. If you're running around acting a damn fool, shit, you got too much time on your hands. Or was something wrong with you? You need to run around acting a damn fool at home. If you steal it on the bus, you ain't got no job. You done stole it. You just done hustled up enough change stealing. They need to be put off the bus, but you get in trouble when you put people like that off the bus. They cater to the people acting a damn fool and stealing instead of catering to the people with money in their pocket. I remember back in the day, you used to ride the bus and be peaceful. It's a nice ride, but it's not like that anymore. I see it on Facebook. They say it's not a good ride no more. It's not a good thing to ride a Greyhound bus. That's what I heard. They say it's a lot of dope heads on the bus, and things like that. Senior citizens, or whatnot. I was poor. Don't get me wrong. I've been poor all my life, and I cater to poor people more than I do rich people. But hell, I've been poor. Shit, I get on the bus, I sit down, I rest my damn nerve, or whatnot. Uh, you cater to the people, and don't get me wrong. Poor people got plenty of money, you know, or whatnot, and they love riding the bus. But don't nobody want to ride the bus with a bunch of people acting a damn fool and stealing from you on the bus. You gonna get off the bus. So you leave the bus to the people stealing who ain't got no money. Then you're gonna have an empty bus and a bunch of drug runners. A bunch of drug runners on the bus. Well, that's all I got to say about that. Somebody give me a comment. What y'all think? Y'all think I went overboard? Let me know. God bless the drivers. That union getting all y'all money. Y'all need to say something. Tell that union they need to do something for you. They got hell. I know they're getting at least $1 million. I was at a union meeting. They're getting $1 million. Everybody out there, God bless. I'll holler at you later.